Good evening, family. Hello, welcome. This is my second podcast for today, but I just wanted to come on and talk about some Iraqi news that's out right now. And I think this is very important because we've been waiting for the Iraqi dinar to actually show on the Forex that is trading. So I'm going to talk to you about some information that came out actually December the 31st as we move into today because some news came out about the Forex. Not saying that the Iraqi dinar is trading on the Forex yet, but they publish articles to let us know that this is very, very close. Now, let me tell you how we know as soon as I give you a formal welcome. Thank you for joining me here, family, today. This is a Monday evening. It is J6 or January the 6th, 2025, and the time is 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome to everybody here, everybody that joined us earlier today, and people who joined us over the weekend as we discussed all type of geopolitical and financial news. On Thursday evening, we had Rod Hayes, also known as Chief Pontiac, to talk to us about geopolitical news and how we know that the Republic is being restored. That was a phenomenal podcast. Please check that podcast because people have been emailing me all weekend long saying thank you and saying that they had some people hadn't heard about Chief Hayes, but most of you have, and that they were just enlightened about so many things as it relates to history, the history of America, the history of the world, how the world was enslaved. We also talked about different bloodline families that enslaved the world and families that are behind the bloodline families. So it was, again, a phenomenal podcast. And then earlier today, I talked about how many nations are becoming sovereign, meaning they are officially announcing that they are taking care of their own global business, their own financial and economic business. They're taking control of their currencies. They are building up their own alliances. And it was a phenomenal podcast that we just did a few hours ago. And in that podcast, I talked about how African nations are booting out military forces, European military forces, or what they call colonial powers. And since these countries, these African nations have booted out these foreign entities, now these nations have become sovereign and they've taken control of their currency. One such country is Burkina Faso, who just announced that they are celebrating 44 gold bars that they just mined their own power and their own might. And they are saying now we are taking control and making sure we create jobs for our own community. Since Burkina Faso, Chad, Senegal, which is the latest country, Mali, Niger, and some of these other nations, particularly that were colonized for the French, have exited the French colonies and the French military. Now France is struggling. They are suffering financially, and that led to the parliament in France doing a no confidence vote. And so that then led to them exiting or getting rid of the whole financial department and committee in France. And now there's a lot of pressure mounting against Macron, the French prime minister, to step down. So he is sweating bullets, saying, I'm not going anywhere to 2027. My time's not up yet. But France is saying, you got to get up out of here because now that we are struggling financially and we can't export any of the goods and resources from Africa, and we can't exploit their nation, and we can't force their children to mine for us. Oh, we're struggling too bad. And we're in a position where our people are struggling, our nation is struggling. We don't have any good relationships now. So you got to get out of here, Macron. So right now, he's trying to figure out what he's going to do. So we talked about that earlier today, as well as announcing that Justin Trudeau from Canada, stepped down today on J6 or January 6th. We also discussed how Canada is likely to become the 51st state of America, but more correctly, how they're about to realign back within our nation of North America and our republic, because Canada was once part of our republic, as well as the Caribbean islands. And some of the other nations, too, were a part of Al Morocco, or the Moroccan Empire, or Turtle Island, or Amorica, whatever you decide to call it, Northwest Africa, the North Gate. There are many names for the republic here in America. So Canada may indeed be grafted back in very quickly since Trudeau has stepped down. And the reason that Trudeau stepped down is because he has to. For one, it is a component of Jasara that all of these empires or these leaders of empires that were leading people astray or enslaving people through their financial system or through wars have to step down. But also, Canada became, a little worried about what's going to happen financially, economically with Trump telling them that he's going to put a 25% tariff on their country. But we know here that Trump was just saying that, number one, he is serious about putting tariffs on these countries, but he's saying that to Canada to force them to do so, to step down quickly. So when the Canadian government or parliament tried to discuss what they're going to do if Trump does put tariffs on their country, then that led them to put pressure on Justin Trudeau to just go ahead and step down, just get it over with. Now, we know this was a part of Trump's plan, and this is why when he was up in front as the president during the first administration, he created the USMC, United States, Mexico, Canada trade agreements. You remember that? We knew he was preparing to bring Canada back under the auspices of our republic. But those trade agreements basically just said those nations, Canada, United States, and Mexico, can trade together, and we can forget about all these other nations like China. So the reason why it was important for Trump to talk about putting tariffs on Canada, 25% tariff on China, but tariffs on other nations, is because he and Earth Alliance is doing away with income taxes. Income taxes are unlawful, unconstitutional, and against our republic. Putting an income tax and taxing on the people and taxing the people is completely treasonous. So all of these nefarious entities, people, governments, whatever you want to call them, they have been operating in treason. So before we had taxes put on the people, we actually used to make money. The governments would make money by putting tariffs on countries that wanted to import their goods here. Well, now we can put tariffs on them, remove income taxes, do away with the IRS, and bring back those factories and companies home that had fled to China. So now we're making the environment more conducive to our factories and people working at home, to bringing the wealth here, creating the wealth here, creating our own goods and services. And this is something that we intend to do to make America great again. So we talked about all those things earlier today, as well as currency revaluations, currency reinstatement, and what that means for we the people. We also talked about how you can take advantage of the greatest wealth transfer in history. And I told you all that there's so important to say to yourself that I really desire to do this, and ask yourself, how can I? Because when you look at your budget sometime and you look at what's on your ledger, what's coming in and what's going out, sometimes it looks like you just can't afford it. And I understand and understand that. I get it. However, if you desire to get into some of these investments, like investing in countries' currencies, foreign currencies, so that when they're reinstated back to their lawful level based on the resources that the countries have, you can go to the bank with a new exchange rate, put on those currencies, and become wealthy overnight, or a millionaire. Now, some people have been waiting 20 years or more, a decade or so it's not overnight. But some of you can jump right in right now and get some of the currencies while they have been devalued. And we put in the chat on that video we did earlier today what those countries' currencies are. We also talked about, just briefly though, we talked about how you can invest in digital coins or digital assets and what that looks like, and which ones were backed by silver, gold, and copper. So you might want to look at that video that I did earlier today. And then I also have a video that talks about investing in digital assets. We also talked about how you can invest in silver and gold for almost nothing, family. I know gold is about $2,600 per ounce. I haven't looked in a few days. Silver is somewhere, it's less than $30 per ounce. But in order to pay off the debts here in America, economists state that you have to revalue gold to at least $10,000 per ounce. In fact, some economists said you have to revalue gold between $10,000 and $100,000 per ounce. So gold will revalue, family. Silver too, because silver, in fact, will probably outperform gold. Silver has even more uses. It's used for industrial purposes. Silver is used in solar panels. Silver is used in your appliances, your computer, your cell phones. We have silver mines in Mexico, which Mexico is a part of North America or a part of the the Moroccan dynasty or empire here. And those silver mines will be reopened, as well as the gold and silver and other mines open in Nevada and other places here in America. So you can invest in these metals, and it might be a lot right now, but I found a way. And I told you all, the universe always finds a way. The moment you make up your mind, the universe conspires to assist you. Shall I say it again? The moment you make up your mind, the universe conspires to assist you. So gold maybe about $2,500, $2,600 an ounce. But if you get gold Arum notes, also known as gold backs, you can get them for just a few dollars. As a matter of fact, Florida has announced that they are now printing or putting out new Florida gold backs. And you can go to many of these gold online companies like JM Bullion, like Metals Mint, and maybe even, I don't know about SD Bullion, but many of these gold online companies, and you can get on a waiting list for the gold backs, the Florida gold backs. They're doing a pre-sale now. And the lowest amount for a gold back is $2.62. $2.62. Come on, family. We can afford that. We can maybe not get our hair done for a week or 2 weeks. We can maybe not get the nails done and go buy some gold Arum notes and gold backs. We can maybe collect coins. There's always a way, because the moment you make up your mind, the universe conspires to assist you, family. So gold Arum notes or gold backs are actually 14 karat gold, real 0.999 fine gold printed on a note. And you can use these notes to buy local goods and services. It's not just in Florida. As a matter of fact, as early as 2011, there were states that were already acknowledging silver and gold as legal tender in their states. In 2017 and 2020, I reported that there were, at least at that time, 13 states that had allowed for people to use silver and gold Arum notes for local currency to buy local goods and services. It's just that most people didn't know about it. Even after I was reporting, a lot of people just had a hard time believing it and receiving it. But it's okay. Now it's common knowledge because I'm stating it. What they say, notice the agent is notice the principal, notice the principal, notice the agent. Look, I am making public announcements, and that's my job. I give breaking news. I make public announcements so that you can be able to go out and make your life amazing and great. So again, you can buy gold backs right now for as little as $2, a little at $2.62. Type it, look it up, gold Arum notes or gold backs. Florida was the latest state to say that they're printing gold backs, and officially they will be out on January the 15th. Now, Money Metals had already printed an article that said 45 states have reclaimed silver and gold by repealing the state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals. And I've been talking about that for years, but now the Sound Money Defense League is saying it openly and officially. So said all that to say, suffice it to say, we are all moving towards the gold standard. And that's why King's World published an article in February 2023 that said the world is rushing back towards using gold as money. So family, please govern yourselves accordingly and get in on this greatest wealth transfer in history. So by now, though, let's talk about the Central Bank of Iraq and the Iraqi news for those of you who hold the Iraqi dinar. And we're going to be brief tonight because I haven't had dinner yet, and I know some of you have things to do. So by now, you have heard that the Central Bank of Iraq have announced that they are officially international. They completed their transition to international banking practices on December the 31st, but they became official January the 1st. So the article, I read a couple articles, but one article in particular that I like asserts that this will enable the banks to do a smooth transition and it will enhance cooperation with partner nations. So now you'll be able to do banking with partner nations, according to the articles. The article lists 3 key points, and this is not all we're going to talk about. We know that the Central Bank of Iraq has gone international as of January the 1st, but we're at January the 6th. So, and yesterday, the Pope opened his 5th Jubilee portal, which he started on December the 24th, and then the 26th, then the 27th, then January the 1st, and then the last one was Sunday, January the 5th. And this Jubilee portal was a portal, a tradition, or a ritual letting us know that we are about to experience a debt jubilee. Now, I showed you earlier an article that was a mainstream article that talked about a jubilee, a worldwide jubilee. And the article literally states that we are anticipating a jubilee of biblical proportions. And the article goes on to ask, are you ready? So all the stuff I've been talking about, you've been talking about, the Soul family been talking about, independent journalists have been talking about a debt jubilee, Nasara, Jassara, all wiping out all of our debts, and trillions of dollars being ejected into or injected into the global economy is now coming to fruition. And you're now seeing articles like Zero Hedge publications actually mention a complete jubilee. As a matter of fact, we are in the 50th year of a platinum jubilee. So according to the Hebrew tradition, you're supposed to have a jubilee every 7 years. And during those 7 years, you're supposed to free all the slaves and completely get rid of and annihilate and just decimate, or how I say, forgive debt. Not only are you supposed to do that every 7 years, but you're supposed to do a 7-year cycle times 7. And so on the 49th year, you're supposed to do the same thing, but you have a big celebration on the 50th year, the platinum jubilee year. We're in that platinum jubilee year right now. And although we said it was about 2024, according to the Julian calendar, we know by talking to Princess Elizabeth, who is the sole executor of many of the trusts that will actually trigger these funds that are going to be injected into the global economy to liberate humanity. She has told us that the Julian calendar has let us know that this cycle will end by February, the end of February in 2025. So we're in that Jubilee year right now, the Platinum Jubilee. So all this is happening right now as we prepare for the greatest wealth transfer in history. And it's my desire to see you get in on that. So let's get back to the Central Bank of Iraq. The article suggests that the banks will now use electronic platforms to do cross banking to corresponding banking systems in other countries. The second component of this article states that banks can now enhance balances with correspondent banks using various currencies, such as now they can use currencies such as the United States dollar, the Indian rupiah, the Chinese yuan, the euro, the United Arab Emirates dirham, the Saudi Arabian rial, and the Jordanian dollar. That was on January the 1st. Those were the countries they said they will be able to do banking with this electronic banking platform. But another article came out that was even more inspiring and more encouraging. But first, let me talk about the third component of this article. It says that this achievement will enhance Iraq's appeal for investments, and it will enhance international financial and banking confidence now that they've streamlined their banking platform. So in conclusion, the article states, and I can show you the article in a minute. Thank you so much, family, for the Cash App blessing. The article states that the Central Bank of Iraq, also known as the CBI, are now reaffirming their commitment to foster good governance. They are reaffirming their commitment to being in compliance, to international compliances. They are reaffirming their commitment to anti-money laundering, and they're further solidifying their financial system, Iraq's financial system. So that is the article that came out January the 1st, and I'll show you one of such articles right now. Sarah said, you're wonderful. Thank you so much. Here is that article. Let me see if I can see. Yes, the Bank of Iraq, Central Bank of Iraq, and this was published in Iraq Business News. I subscribe to Iraq Business News, so I'm able to see what's going on in Iraq and to keep up. So this is the article here from which I gave the key points. And again, there were key points that we read from the article, and I will make sure I put it in the description section for you so that you can read it at your convenience. But a second article came out that I was really enthusiastic about because, according to the first article, they can now streamline business and do international businesses with like 5 or 6 countries' currencies. But there was another article that came out that I thought was even more encouraging, family. Let's see if I can find that right quick. Please check in, let us know where you're hailing from, family, and leave your comments in the comment section. So we're talking about Iraq and the Central Bank of Iraq and what we see happening right now and what we are to anticipate. This article came out by JP Morgan. Why JP Morgan? Well, JP Morgan Chase actually won the bid to do business in Iraq. They won a bid, they won a deal to put their banks in Iraq. And when I saw that happening this summer, I knew that Jamie Dimon and his whole company that won that bid was going to be a part of the exchange process with the Iraqi dinar. And some people don't like that, but I'm okay with it because I know that Jamie Dimon, even though he was doing some things that was nefarious and he was found on what's that list? That list that deal with bad things. Steen, he was found on that list. And interestingly enough, after that came out and made mainstream news that he was involved in those shenanigans or on that list, all of a sudden he made this turnaround where he was completely against Trump, and he actually made an official announcement. Trump might have been correct about a lot of things. As a matter of fact, he said, Trump, I had problems with him, but he was pretty okay about some of the things that he said. For example, he was right about what he said about the economy and how the economy is now in disarray. He said Trump was all right. He told the truth about what happened during the global, shutdown. And he was true about a lot of things. So I knew then that Jamie Dimon probably had been sent to the clink clink and facing military tribunals if he hasn't been already all the way done with and judged. So Jamie Dimon also not long ago was announced that he had COVID. Not only him, but some other people that were in banking and finance. So it did not surprise me that JP Morgan Chase actually would be involved in the exchange process because, again, for many of us knew this since 2017, JP Morgan Chase and Wells Fargo would be involved in the exchange process for those of you who are invested in foreign currencies. So let's get into this article here. The reason why I'm so excited about it, because this article says this is your 2025 Global Wires Payment Formatting Requirements Guide. This is your guide to making cross-currency payments in over 160 countries with ease. So it's not just Iraq that has a payment platform, or then it's not just Iraq talking about it, but now you have JP Morgan Chase talking about this international way of making cross-currency payments in over 160 countries. So whereas the first article talked about Iraq doing business on payment platforms with the UAB's dirham, the euro, the Chinese yuan, the Indian rupee, the Saudi Arabian rial, and the Jordanian dollar. Now we have this article come out by JP Morgan Chase that says you can actually make cross-currency payments in over 160 countries with the currencies with ease. So let's see how you can do this. This guide is about 80 pages long. It says this guide is to provide JP Morgan Chase and Company's clients for informational purposes only, a guide to do cross-country payments. It says It says JP Morgan Global Wire Payment Formatting Requirements Guide is your desktop resource to help you make timely and accurate payments to beneficiaries around the world. Let me see if I can make this bigger for you. It goes on to tell you how to work with JP Morgan to do this, how you set up your payment, what you're supposed to do in terms of for your ordering customer, providing their account number, their full name, address, et cetera. It talks about the beneficiary customer information, the beneficiary bank. And it also talks about how the Swift bank system, or the SWIFT BIC, is a bank identifier code for members of the Swiss network. And some people, when I was talking to a few people about this, were asking, why are they mentioning the SWIFT payment system? Because allegedly the SWIFT payment system is supposed to be done away with because it is attached to the United States central banking system. And my only response to that is, now, although we have new payment systems, thank you so much for the Cash App blessing, Michael Bernard. God bless you so much. We know that the SWIFT system is attached to the United States central banking system, Federal Reserve central banking system. But we also know that we have new payment systems. And so my explanation is that this is a transitionary period. And so you still may have remnants of the SWIFT system until you transition to a new payment system. And you can see here that they even mentioned ISO 20022 formatting assistance and compliancy. So perhaps they are preparing us to transition to a new payment system. So I'm not really upset about the SWIFT system being mentioned here. And you can tell me what you think in the comment section. So this article lists 160 countries. And you see from Afghanistan, Albania, Algeria, you see China, Colombia. Colombia is where my maternal line comes from. It goes all the way to C's, the I's, the N's, all the way down to, what is that? Zambia, yes. It's and then they talk about host-to-host format assistance and just a whole lot of things in terms of how you can handle these cross payments or these cross-currency payments in over 160 countries. So not only is Iraq preparing for this, but the whole world is preparing for doing cross-country or cross-currency payments. And the good news about this is when you have a currency revaluation and a currency reinstatement, where all the countries' currencies will be reinstated back to their rightful value based on all the resources and commodities and metals that each countries have, we know that each country's currency will be one-to-one with each other. So you can send money to another country with the USD or whatever new currency we'll be using. And you can, by the time that you make a payment or send money to, like say, Zimbabwe, it will transition from the USD to the Zimbabwe Zim or whatever currency they'll be using. And that country's currencies will be one-to-one with each other. So this is very, very good news, family. I will put this in the description section for you because, again, it says this is your guide to making cross-currency payments in over 160 current countries with ease. So it talks about all of the countries, and then God bless you too. And then when you get down to about page 79, let me see if I can find that. And let me see if I can find where we are, 79 and 80-ish. They go into a little more detail. Let me see if this is it. That doesn't look like, nope. Comprehensive guide, nope, that's not it. Yeah, I think this is it right here. Page 78. Here is a table. It says use this table in conjunction with your PM host-to-host format specific client guide to assist you in providing the enclosed SWIFT-based country currency requirements. And so here, family, they have a column for a SWIFT field, the ISO 20022 compliances or information that you need to provide here. But there was something else I wanted to show you all the way down here. Here are the different countries that they talk about. Maybe I have to go down some more. There was something I wanted to show you on this particular page here. They tell you the purpose for the payment code that you have to use, the AMI reporting for payment and receipts. Updates include transitions, payment formatting, new requirements. It just goes into a little more detail about this particular method. And there was something else I wanted to bring out. It's leaving me right now what I wanted to show you here, but I will put that in the description section on my YouTube channel. I know my Instagram family can't see this, but I will also put it on my Rumble channel. And then Something very, very interesting that I have to show you all is this guide that came out. That's a comprehensive guide. Are you ready to hear this? To trading the Iraqi dinar on the Forex. This was published actually by Bitcoin World, a comprehensive guide to trading the Iraqi dinar or the IQD on the Forex. If the IQD isn't ready to trade on the Forex or to be officially announced on the Forex, why are they showing us this comprehensive guide? We could go through the guide right quickly. Oh, okay. Thank you, Robert, for saying Kia. But who is this? Horsesile Durant says the Swift has updated to the digital platform. Thank you so much for that. Grand Rising. Hello, Albert. Good to see you. B. Grass, good to see you. Etna Price, God bless you. And John Jr. Oh, John Jr. here. Hi, Zachary. It's good to see you. Sammy's in the house. Hi, Sammy DIY Garden and Adventures. Sedona, Arizona's in the house. Hi, Cindy. Good afternoon and good evening, Rancho. Nadine Jordas from Rancho Cucamonga, California. I see Osiris the God in the house. Welcome. Also, we have Sarah here. She says, this is like the global financial resource news. Dr. Pruitt would be great local and global TV or cable news channel. Shout out to the Empress, she says. Empress Rarebird. She's sending shout out to Empress Rarebird. All love. Whitehead is here. Is it Robin? No, Robin Whited, excuse me. All love from beautiful Arizona, from John Jr. and I. Rockin' Robin's in the house, y'all. And John Jr., thank you. All love to you too, sister. Peace and love, Sister Lori. Thank you for the Cash App blessing you sent me earlier. Peace and love, Viola. Thank you for the Cash App blessing. You said this is good news too. And let me just pause for station identification. This is the Dr. Kia Pruitt News Channel on YouTube and Rumble, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Family, I want to tell you thank you for always coming and showing support for me, sending me in words of encouragement, and also Cash App blessings. Since I shouted some of you out, but I also want to say that earlier today, many of you were sending me blessings while I was giving a report, and I want to officially announce who you are and give you, your kudos for doing so. Glenn Snell, thank you so much for the Cash App blessing. Theo Woodford, thank you so much for blessing Dr. Pruitt. Sister Tawana came through with a blessing today, and she's often sending me a blessing, and I'm so grateful for her and to all of you. Deborah Allen, Sister Deborah Allen, thank you so much. And I will maintain. Thank you so very much for the Cash App blessing. I'm so honored and I'm so grateful that you all care enough about me to support me and support my work. So let's get into this last article that I want to bring up, family, and then we can answer some questions. Here's your comprehensive guide to trading on the Forex. Why? This is Forex News. Why would Bitcoin World and Forex actually publish an article that gives you a guide to trading the Iraqi dinar if it's not going to trade on the Forex? Hello to my Instagram family. Thank you for joining. We're talking about how the Iraqi bank, the CBI, Central Bank of Iraq, has announced that they are now official. They are preparing for international trade, and that their banks are officially international. And we talked about some other things as well. We talked about how the Iraqi dinar is going to be reinstated back to its normal value based on all the oil and the resources that Iraq has. And when you make a cross-country payment on these new payment platforms, it might start with one currency, but by the time you make a payment to another country or you send the money to another country, the country's currencies will transition from your currency to the other country's currency, and those countries' currencies will be one-to-one with each other. So the article states that the IQD, or the Iraqi dinar, is the official currency of Iraq. We know that. And while it may not be as widely traded as major currencies like the United States dollar or the euro, it holds significant interest for Forex traders looking to diversify their portfolios. Diversifying is something you always want to do. People ask me, if I only have a certain amount of dollars, should I invest in foreign currencies or should I invest in silver or gold? I'm not a financial advisor. I can just tell you what I have done and what I suggest to my family members. I suggest always invest in one, what you understand, so you research it, what you can afford, number two, and if you can diversify, meaning you have a certain amount of money, like you say you have $100, you may be inclined to diversify. You can buy gold. You can buy some gold RM notes for $2.62 if you have $100. Then you may go and buy a Zimbabwean agro check for about $30. You see what I'm saying? Then you might buy a silver coin or two for $30 or $35. Then you might take the rest and do something else with it. So only invest in what you understand and overstand. So do your research and what you can afford to invest in. And then I would say as much as you can diversify. So again, this article says that the Iraqi dinar holds significant interest for Forex traders that are looking to diversify their portfolio. Again, this article was published by Bitcoin News and by Forex News. Trading the IQD or the Iraqi dinar, the article states, on the Forex markets presents unique opportunities and some challenges influenced by Iraq's economic conditions, geopolitical factors, and global market trends. And these are the things I often talk about when I discuss investments. You want to always try to stay abreast on geopolitical news. Not only so, you want to make sure you research, you make sure that it's in your budget. Try to diversify if you can, and you can start with just a little money. If you don't have a lot, start with just a little. But also, as best as you can, stay abreast on geopolitical news. That's something that I cover pretty widely here on my channel. Geopolitical news means news that's going on all across the globe as it relates to politics, finances, the economies, currencies, all that. As much as you can, stay abreast on geopolitical news, or at least identify somebody in your family who's good at it, or hire somebody to do it, or even just read a couple of articles just to stay updated on what's going on, because whatever you invest in, whatever's in your portfolio is influenced by geopolitical factors. Your investments are influenced by presidential elections even. Your investments are influenced by markets, what's market trends. So you want to try to stay abreast of all of these things as much as you are able to. So the comprehensive guide that's provided here looks into everything that you'll need to know about trading the Iraqi dinar on Forex, including the live rates, trading strategies, market analyses, and tips for successful IQD trading today. So again, if the IQD or the Iraqi dinar was not about to show on the Forex or to trade on the Forex, why did Bitcoin World publish this article? Why did the Forex and Forex News publish this article and provide information for how to trade the Iraqi dinar on the Forex? We don't know, but we do know, again, that Iraq is completely ready. We know that their payment platforms are ready. We know that al-Sudani mentioned once he became the president in October 2022, then he came forward in November 2022, and he said, I'm working with other countries to restore my stolen money, my gold, my artifacts, my stolen money. I'm working with the Central Bank of Iraq to revalue my country's currency, the IQD, against the United States dollar. And I'm working to fight against and end endemic corruption. He said, we are going to eliminate endemic corruption, which is something that other administrations didn't do. And he also said in November 2022, 1 month after he came to power or came into his position, that he was one of the presidents that were concerned about the people. He said, these people that came before me that were prime ministers, presidents, they were concerned about lining their pockets, but I'm concerned about the people. He did that. Then Sudani met with his finance department, met with the United States Treasury Department here in America. Then he came last year and he met in Washington, D.C. with Biden to solidify trade agreements, to solidify that everybody was okay now and that now we can have treaties with one another, to solidify doing business with one another, to talk about or discuss the new Iraqi dinar, the rate, and all of this. He made those announcements that he was talking to Biden in the summer of, it was April of 2024. He also went, talking about al-Sudani, the prime minister, to Detroit and some of the other major cities to talk to the Iraqi Americans because Detroit, Michigan has a large population of Iraqi Americans. And he told them about these agreements, about all this new information that we're discussing now, just to let them know that we're going to be okay. The agreement between America and Iraq, they've been solidified. We're going to make sure that corruption is done away with. We're going to make sure the people are taken care of. We're going to make sure that we're compliant with international treaties and agreements. And he just tried to make sure that everybody was okay in April. Then he met with billionaires. Let me get out here so you guys can see me. He met with billionaires and American businessmen in Texas and in other places in America and asked businessmen and women to invest in Iraq. Al-Sudani said, I need you to invest in Iraq. We have lots of resources. We have oil. We have lots of things so that you can exploit our country and help us as we rebuild our nation and we do international trade. So that was huge and monumental for Al-Sudani to actually meet with American businessmen. He wasn't the only one to do that. We saw Venezuela do the same thing. We saw Vietnam do the same thing. So this is something that many countries' leaders are doing to ensure that we have peace agreements and trade agreements that are compliant with international agreements such as Project Sandman. So Al-Sudani also had a very, very festive celebration just recently, December the 10th and 11th, to celebrate or commemorate the end of ISIL. I say ISIL because Obama said ISIL, and I don't like them using ISIS because I think they're defaming the name of the goddess Isis or Aset. Aset was a goddess in Egypt, and then who came after Egypt and Greek, then a Greek goddess name was Isis, but that was another name for Aset. So I say ISIL. That was an Islamic faction that had overtaken many of the Iraqi cities in the, like during the Iraqi war, but also later than that, in about 2015, 2016, somewhere around there, maybe even earlier. But the end of ISIL being in their country actually was in the year of 2017. And since 2017, the country of Iraq has been celebrating the doing away with ISIL. So on December the 10th and 11th, during the 11 portal, 11 is a doorway or portal, out with the old, in with the new. During December the 11th, Iraq had a huge celebration in country and in America in those cities and states where we have a high Iraqi American population. So Al-Sudani and Iraqi people have been very, very busy ensuring that their country is ready for international trade and ready for the Iraqi dinar to be reinstated. So Al-Sudani had this big celebration to commemorate the end of ISIL. And then the next day on December the 12th, during the 12/12 portal, we know that President Trump rang the bell, the introductory bell to the New York Stock Exchange, and he rang it 51 times. We talked about why 51, 5 plus 1 equals 6. 6 is the number of humanity or of the family. 6 equals carbon or 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, 6 proton, which is about all life. And we talked about also how him ringing that bell 51 times symbolizes Canada being brought in as the 51st state in America. More importantly, being a part of our republic again, like it used to be. So this ringing of the bell was a victory bell. And when you look up the tradition of bell ringing, what that means, you can clearly see its symbolism for introducing or announcing victory, or not just victory, but winning, overcoming your enemy, freedom, and that aligns with Iraq celebrating the end of ISIL the day before Trump rang that bell in the morning at 9:30 during the 12/12/12 portal, December the 12th, the 12th month, the 12th day at 9:30 a.m., which is a 12 number. So the big victory bells ringing, was very important for us, and it also helps to commemorate and bring in. It's like a ritual that's in alignment with the Iraqi people celebrating. And then some people in Iraq were saying not only were they celebrating the end of ISIL, but they were celebrating these secret covert announcements that the Iraqi dinar was revaluing or being soon to be reinstated back to its lawful rate. So we've been hearing all type of reports as to what that rate would be. Some people say that the rate before The Iraqi dinar was devalued, was a little over $3. And if you account for inflation and account for all the gold that will back the Iraqi dinar, it may revalue or be reinstated up. The rate might be like $13. Then you've heard even more. So, but we don't know, and I'm not going to say here. I heard back in 2017 it could be 100 to 150. Some people say that's ridiculous. I don't know what the new rate will be, but I will say whatever it is, we'll be happy. We'll take it. So let's get back to this comprehensive guide for trading the Iraqi dinar. Thank you so much for the Cash App blessing. Trading the Iraqi dinar on the Forex. Number one, you need to understand the Iraqi dinar in Forex. So what is the IQD Forex? The IQD or Iraqi dinar Forex refers to the trading of the Iraqi dinar, the country's currencies, and other currencies on the Forex. The Forex is also known as the foreign exchange market. While the IQD is not liquid or as liquid or widely known or widely traded as other major currencies, it can be an attractive option for those of you who indeed enjoy trading or seeking a niche market, or anybody that's interested in economic prospects of Iraq. I say if you have the Iraqi dinar, you probably should know a little bit about the country, about the politics there, about their economy, how their currencies are doing. You might want to learn a little bit about the GDP, just a little bit, so that you can stay abreast on what's happening with your country's currency. Secondly, you want to know about the importance of the IQD or the Iraqi dinar in Forex trading. So the article suggests that trading the Iraqi dinar can offer several advantages. Here are a couple advantages. It can offer a diversification. It can offer potential growth and low correlations. So let's start with diversification. Adding the Iraqi dinar to your Forex portfolio can diversify risk and exposure to different economic regions. Secondly, when it comes to potential growth, as Iraq continued to develop and stabilize, the IQD may experience appreciation, which will offer potential profit opportunities. Thank you for the Cash App blessing. Thirdly, low correlation. So the Iraqi dinar or the IQD offers a low correlation with major currencies, providing hedging opportunities against market volatility. So gold is a hedge against inflation. For having investment in foreign currencies could be a hedge, can provide hedging opportunities against market volatility. Again, it's important to diversify. You want a little bit of whatever you can afford: foreign currencies, precious metals, what else? Digital assets or digital coins, or whatever you can afford, whatever you understand and overstand. It took me a long time to get into digital coins. I'm talking years. When I first heard about it, I wasn't eager to get invested in it because I didn't understand it. And I know that an economic principle is that you're only supposed to invest in what you understand or overstand. So I had to do my research. And as I started to hear a little bit more about digital assets, I just would put like $25 in there. And then I started learning about wallets. So it took me some time to get to where I am today, where I am invested in digital assets or digital coins. But foreign currencies, as soon as I heard about it, it made sense to me, and I invested right away. And then in silver and gold, it took me a minute because I had to make sure I fully understood it, but it didn't take me a long time because I knew that if you hold it, you own it. I knew that silver and gold were a hedge against inflation. I know that silver and gold increase in value as the dollar decrease in value. And I knew that it was used for money, and according to our Constitution and according to the Bible. So now we're talking about trading the IQD, though, foreign currencies, on the Forex. I'm still learning about that. But when this article came out, I knew I had to let you all see this because a lot of you are into the Forex. So now let's talk about current status of the Iraqi dinar. There are like 3 points to that part. The importance of IQD trading. Did we go in that one? Oh, no, we did that. The current status of the Iraqi dinar. This is going to be interesting. As of today, or I should say that day when this article came out a couple of days ago, the IQD, Iraqi dinar Forex live rates fluctuate based on Iraq's economic indicators and the global market conditions. So you need to monitor live exchange rates through reliable Forex platforms or financial news websites to make sure that you are informed as when you make trading decisions. As we know, right now, the Iraqi dinar is not trading on the Forex, but it could sometime today, because right now it's 8:49, almost 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Florida. So it's about 5 o'clock a.m. Tuesday, January the 7th, 2025. So when the Forex on the market is open, who knows? We need to keep our eyes peeled because it's possible that the Iraqi dinar could be trading. Okay, now let's talk about factors that influence IQD value. What influence IQD value? And again, we're looking over the guide to trading the IQD or the Iraqi dinar on the Forex. This article was published by Bitcoin World and by Forex. So there are several factors that impact the value of the dinar. Oil prices, because Iraq's economy is heavily dependent on oil exports. So you have to look at the fluctuation in oil prices that happens, and it happens significantly when it fluctuates. And this affects Iraq's GDP and consequently the value of the Iraqi dinar. You want to pay attention to political stability. And we talked about that. You always want to stay abreast on geopolitical news when you have investments, because the markets and your investments are influenced by geopolitical news, by coup d'etats or overtake of governments, by presidential elections, by people resigning, all those type of things. As a matter of fact, speaking of people resigning, if you go to resignation.info, you can look at, is it resignation.info? Let me see, or is it info.resignation.info? Okay, I get mixed up if it's resignation or is it info.resignation. Go to info.resignation. You can see the recent, not the most recent, but some of the recent forced resignations of banking CEOs, corporate CEOs, prime ministers, all type of people on that info.resignation list. And the reason why many people were forced to resign or forced to retire early is because there's a massive cleanup that's occurring all across the globe as we prepare for the global currency reset and a reinstatement of countries' currencies. So get excited, family. This is an exciting time to be alive. So you want to pay attention again to the several factors that impact the value of the dinar. Oil prices, political stability, inflation rates. High inflation can erode the purchasing power of the Iraqi dinar. Low inflation may indicate economic stability. So make sure you look at the inflation rates. You want to pay attention to foreign investment inflows of foreign investment, You want to look at the inflow of foreign direct investments, also called the FDI, because those can strengthen the IQD, whereas capital flight can weaken the Iraqi dinar. Then you want to make sure you understand or understand the economic overview of the whole country of Iraq. We talked about that. What's happening in Iraq? Is there a coup d'etat being established? Is there a war going on in Iraq? Is the dinar being reinstated back to its value? Did Iraq repatriate their gold from the Vatican? What type of news is coming out in Iraq? And that's why I'm invested in this particular article. Let me see what the name of that article is called. This particular newsletter called Iraq Business News. So I can stay abreast on what's going on with the Iraqi dinar. What type of agreements and meetings did al-Sudani, who's the prime minister of Iraq, have with Biden or Trump or other nations? That's important because all that, what's going on with their economy and then in their geopolitical news, the infrastructure happening with the infrastructure, peace agreements, war, treaty agreements, all that affects the Iraqi dinar. So you want to understand Iraq's economic landscape. That's vital for trading the IQD effectively. And here are key points. The GDP, or the gross domestic product, in Iraq is influenced by oil production, by government spending, and reconstruction efforts post-conflict or post-war. Also, you want to understand unemployment rates. High unemployment can lead to economic instability, not just in Iraq, but anywhere. Then this will affect the IQD negatively. So pay attention to the unemployment rates. Also, you want to look at the public debt. Managing public debt levels is crucial for maintaining economic stability and investor confidence. So this is for those of you who are interested in investing in or trading the Iraqi dinar, the IQD on the Forex. If you're not interested, this might not make sense to you, but I'll still leave it in the description section for you of my Rumble and YouTube channel for you to look through and then make a determination as to whether or not you want to trade the IQD on the Forex. And this news again coming out right now just indicates to me that the dinar is soon to have a rate attached to it, and it will soon trade on the Forex. How to trade on the Forex? You must choose a reliable Forex broker according to this article. So to trade the IQD, select a reputable Forex broker that offers Iraqi dinar pairs and consider the following when you choose the broker. Regulations. Is the broker regulated by a recognized financial authority? You want to make sure of that because you want to make sure the broker knows what he or she is doing. What are the trading platforms used? A user-friendly and robust trading platform is essential for executing trading efficiently. You have to know the spreads and commissions. Compare spreads and commissions to minimize trading costs. You want to know about customer support. Do you have reliable customer supports to assist you in terms of whether or not you will have some type of issue? Because you want issues while you're trying to trade resolved promptly. And then you want to set up your Forex account. The article says that once you've chosen a broker, you want to follow these 4 steps. Register and complete that process on the broker's website. Verify your identity. These are some of the processes too if you are interested in investing in digital coins or digital assets. So you register, you verify your identification by uploading a picture of your driver's license or some other documentation that verifies your identity. You deposit funds. So you make sure you deposit funds into your trading account using available payment methods, such as your bank account or a credit card or a debit card. Then finally, you want to access the trading platforms by logging into the trading platform and navigate to the IQD currency pair. Another thing you want to make sure you understand, this is point 3, is understanding the IQD currency pairs, because the Iraqi dinar is traded against major currencies like the United States dollar, the euro, and other currencies. So common IQD currency pairs include the USD versus the Iraqi dinar, or the United States dollar versus the Iraqi dinar, the euro versus the Iraqi dinar, the British pound or the GBP versus the Iraqi dinar. You want to understand currency pairs, and this is how they broke it up. ISD/IQD, EUR/IQD, GBP/IQD. Then you want to make sure you execute IQD trades. And in order to execute IQD or Iraqi dinar trades, you need to understand these 4 components. You have to analyze the market. So you use analysis, and the article says technical and fundamental analysis, to identify trading opportunities. So you want to read through analyses and then identify which trading opportunities you want to take advantage of. Then you want to choose the trade size. So you determine the lot size based on your risk management strategy. Thirdly, you want to set stop loss and take profit levels. In order to protect your investment, you have to set up predefined exit points. Then fourthly, you want to place the trade or execute the buy or sell through your trading platform. And finally, monitor the trade or keep an eye on the market movements and adjust your strategy accordingly. The 4th component of this article, because each article, they have many components, and then they have articles, or they have components underneath those components. So the 4th key factor to know or keep in mind is that there are key Forex concepts for trading the IQD. So you have to know what a lot is. A lot represents the standardized quantity of currency pair being traded. And in Forex, there are different types of lots. There's a standard lot, 100,000 units of the base currency. There's a mini lot, 10,000 units. There's a micro lot, 1,000 unit. And this might not be completely making sense as we go through the article, but again, I'm just going to do a brief overview and then I'll put it in the description section for you to read. You have to understand the lot sizes because this helps in managing risk and calculating potential profits or losses. Then you have to know what it means to leverage in Forex. This leveraging allows you to control larger portions or positions with a smaller amount of capital. You want to know what is a margin in Forex. A margin is the amount of money required to open and maintain a leveraged Forex position. It acts as a security deposit to cover potential losses. For instance, with 100-to-1 leverage, the margin requirement for a standard lot of ISD/IQD would be 1% of the total trade size. Proper margin management is crucial to prevent margin calls and to maintain. Thank you for the Cash App blessing. I appreciate you. HBKLK, God bless you. Have a smile on you. Proper margin management is crucial to prevent margin calls and maintain a healthy trading account. Then you have to know, what is a spread? I've heard of spreads. What is a spread in the Forex? A spread is the difference between the bid price and the ask price. You have to know that there is a difference between a tight spread and a wide spread. Then it talks about it iterates that minimizing spread can enhance trading probability by reducing the cost of entering and exiting trades. Then another component of this article says you must understand and understand what is liquidity in Forex. Liquidity refers to the ease with which currency pairs can be bought or sold without significantly affecting its price. High liquidity ensures that trades can be executed quickly and at stable prices. Then you must know, what is a US 30 in Forex? The US 30 refers to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, a stock market index tracking 30 large publicly owned companies in the United States. In Forex trading, the US 30 is often traded as a contract for difference, or CFD, allowing traders to speculate on its price movements without owning the underlying stocks. You also have to know, what is an NFP in Forex, or a non-farm payroll. A non-farm payroll is a key economic indicator released monthly by the United States Bureau of Statistics. It measures the number of jobs added or lost in the United States economy, excluding the farming factor. You have to know, what is a buy stop in Forex, which is a type of pending order that becomes a market order once the price reaches a specified level above the current market price. It is used to enter a long position when the trader anticipates an upward momentum. You have to know, what is hedging in Forex. Hedging involves opening multiple positions to offset potential losses. For example, a trader holding a long position on USD/IQD might open a short position on the same pair to protect against adverse price movements. Hedging strategies help manage risk, but can also limit potential profits. If you don't understand or overstand this, you can always, again, get a broker, a trading broker family. You need to know the best practices for trading on the Forex or for trading the IQD. Number one, conduct thorough market research. You want to utilize technical and fundamental analysis. You want to combine technical analysis, charts, patterns, and indicators with fundamental analysis, which is economic indicators, political stability, etc., to make informed trading decisions. You also want to implement risk management strategies. So they go over different risk management strategies. You want to choose the right trading strategy. Do you want to do scalping, day trading, swing trading? Scalping is making multiple small trades for quick profits. That might be a good way to start out. Day trading is entering and exiting trades within the exact same day. And swing trading is holding positions for several days to capitalize on short to medium term trends. You also want to stay disciplined and avoid emotional trading. That's with everything. Keep your emotions in check. Being very informed on what's going on in Iraq, understanding how to trade properly, having a broker, understanding the markets, keeping abreast of what's going on geopolitically and economically in the country will help you to stay disciplined and avoid emotional trading. The article suggests that maintaining a disciplined approach to trading by sticking to your strategy and avoiding impulse decisions based on emotions is important. So you want to use trading journals to track your trades and learn from your experiences. Then the article talks about top Forex signals providing for IQD traders. What are Forex signals? Best Forex signals for providers for Forex signals providers for IQD. While IQD or the Iraqi dinar is less commonly traded, some Forex signals providers offer insight and signals for exotic currency pairs, including the Iraqi dinar. Here are some reputable providers: forexsignals.com, Daily Forex, MQL5 Signals, Learn to Trade, the number 2 trade, Forex Peace Army. These are all different Forex signals providers for the IQD. You also want to understand and understand free Forex signals for the IQD, live Forex signals for real-time trading, risk and considerations in IQD trading. And it goes on with this particular component of the article. It says you must understand and understand market volatility. Exotic currency pairs like the ISD and IQD pair are often more volatile than major pairs, leading to significant price swings. So this volatility can present both profit opportunities and heightened risk. So you need to know the market volatility. You need to know what limited liability or limited liquidity is. And here it says the IQD Forex market has lower liquidity compared to major currencies, resulting in wider spreads and potential slippage during high volatility periods. So you need to know market volatility, limited liquidity, political and economic risk, regulatory environments, broker selection. And in conclusion, trading the Iraqi dinar on Forex offers a unique opportunity for diversification and potential growth, especially for traders that are interested in emerging markets and exotic currency pairs. However, it comes with a set of challenges, the article asserts, including higher volatility, limited liquidity, and geopolitical risks. By understanding the key Forex concepts, selecting reliable Forex signal providers, and implementing effective risk management strategies, traders can navigate the IQD Forex markets more confidently and strategically. So the article goes on further in its conclusion to say whether you're a beginner exploring Forex markets or you're an experienced trader looking to expand your portfolio, incorporating the IQD or the Iraqi dinar trading into your strategy can enhance your trading experience and diversify your investment portfolio. So it says embrace continuous learning, leverage reliable Forex signals, and maintain disciplined trading practices in order to achieve success in the dynamic world of Forex trading. So I just wanted to present this article to you all today, again, because this article was just published a few days ago, and it says that this article is a comprehensive guide to trading the Iraqi dinar or the IQD on the Forex. As I mentioned earlier, I see no reason that they would even bring up or publish a comprehensive guide to trading Iraqi dinar if it wasn't going to trade on the Forex very soon. We know that by the time the news comes out, whether in mainstream news or even in independent news sources, a lot of things have already been done behind the scenes. So we know that the Iraqi bank, the International Bank, or the CBI, the Central Bank of Iraq, has published and announced that they are preparing to trade internationally. And that official announcement was made on January the 1st. So a lot is happening behind the scenes, family. I didn't want to bore your patience. I just want to let you know all the things that's going on. Also, yes, we did make an announcement about JP Morgan Chase. I told you all that Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan Chase won the bid to put Iraq banks, the JP Morgan Chase banks in Iraq, and they will therefore be one of the leading banks to participate in the currency exchanges, as well as Wells Fargo. And I was told that a long time ago that those two banks would be in charge of, or at least be part of, the exchange process. Any other news? Oh, I have something that I saw on X or on Twitter that said, here's the screenshot of the IQD page on one of those articles that I brought up when it talked about beneficiaries. And it just said that information provided by the beneficiary, remitters should obtain all required bank information from the beneficiary. I'll show you that here. but I'll put that in the description section for you. Somebody said JP Morgan was never good. Right. So Jamie Dimon, when he made that flip towards Trump and said that Trump was right about a lot of things, was letting us know that he had flipped for Trump. And we knew that actually what they were doing was releasing information to let us know that the White Hats or the Earth Alliance had dealt with him already, and it just hadn't been officially announced. So JP Morgan Chase is not the only bank that has some nefarious banking practices. They all did. They all did. Even Wells Fargo and HBC, what is it? HSBC, which was formerly owned by China. So all of the banks had some nefarious banking practices. I agree. Why are they now? Because now they have to be Basel compliant. They have to, all the banks that are around now, they're allowed to stay afloat or allowed to continue to operate, will be turned into wealth management centers. They also have to recognize gold as a tier 1 asset in compliance with Basel III compliance. So they have to recognize now that gold is a resource. It is money, tier 1 asset, and not a mere commodity. Banks have to also become very transparent. Banks can no longer trade your money or steal your money. They can no longer do bank ends. A lot of compliances that they now have to agree with will make sure that the banks are good banks, the ones that remain. So banks also met globally this summer to make sure that they were prepared to recognize or to do your currency exchange. The article actually said that banks met globally to ensure their appetite was sufficient to receive tier 2 assets. Those tier 2 assets are your exotic currencies or your foreign currencies. And the article went on to state that the reason why banks had to make sure that they were compliant, they met globally, worldwide. They made sure they were compliant because the banks need your currencies in order to not go bankrupt. That's what the article says. In order to ensure the health of banks, they had to be ready to receive your tier 2 assets. Also, we saw that the Supreme Court of the United States this summer determined or ruled that state-sponsored banks can now operate outside of the Federal Reserve central banking system. They can have their own charter, their own rules, and they can issue out their own gold-backed currencies. So we see that there's a move towards banks becoming compliant according to Basel III, Basel IV, and some other compliances. So that's why JP Morgan Chase is able to do banking in Iraq. But that's not the only bank that will be involved in the currency exchange. Great question. Hello to all of you, family. Thank you for being here. Let's see. I think that's it. I wanted to show you this last bit of information that I saw on Twitter. It was at the end of the article that says that now JP Morgan Chase, the JP Morgan Chase's guide to doing business with 160 countries' currencies. So at the end of that article, what was the name of that? Your guide to making cross-currency payments in over 160 countries, with ease. At the end of that article, this is what I wanted to bring up that I wasn't able to see. Here, it talks about beneficiaries, country requirements and restrictions, payment formatting rules for the IQD, beneficiary customer information that needs to be provided, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll put that in the description section again for you all. So that wraps up my brief news update, brief Iraqi news update for today, January the 6th, 2025. We've been on for an hour and 12 minutes, family. We are so close to the revaluation or reinstatement of currencies. So what we are experiencing right now is a global currency reset. A global currency reset is resetting the global financial system. We're moving from a debt-based United States dollar or debt-based, fiat-based system to a gold-backed, silver-backed, or resource-backed system that will operate using the quantum financial system. A quantum financial system is a sentient living system that was given to us by Earth alliances, and some people say by intergalactic beings that can actually read your energy centers. So these systems, the quantum financial system is something that everyone has already. According to our research, is nothing you need to do. You don't have to pay anybody for it. Your money for that now that's in a bank will go into a quantum financial system. Only you can access your bank account or your bank information. Your funds from Nasara Jasara will go into the quantum financial system, and that's the banking system that you will use. If you have a benevolent heart, a good heart, and you intend to do good things with the money, allegedly, and according to what we've researched, the quantum financial system can read that, can read your intentions, and you will be able to move forward with your transactions as long as you have benevolent intentions. But if you have, or somebody has intentions to do bad things like trade little ones or do any type of laundering, then you won't have access to your money. So I encourage our family members to keep a clean heart, which I know you do anyway. Keep your intentions pure, keep your vibrations high, and maintain a positive attitude. And just know that we were born during this time to help our family members and to help our soul tribe, our soul families. We were born for this time to clean up the planet, to clean up the water, to help with food, farm food. We will also have replicators that will replicate food. We were created for a time as this, such as a time as this, to use our creative geniuses and our skills, gifts, and abilities to come up with different businesses and to do amazing things like publish and present art and music, businesses, shops, all these wonderful things that we wanted to do for many, many years or desired to do, but didn't feel like we could because we needed to make money. And some of the things that you wanted to do just didn't make enough money to survive. So again, family, thank you so much for joining us. Someone says the currency is not sanctioned. I'm not sure which currency, but the global currency reset is moving away from the debt-based, fiat-based system. Hi, John, JFK Jr. Hi, Rock and Robin. Hi, family all over the world. To a global quantum financial system backed by gold, silver, palladium, platinum, and other resources, as well as rare earth minerals. It's important to bring up rare earth minerals because this summer, 2.34 billion metric tons of rare earth minerals was discovered in Wyoming. Imagine how many rare earth minerals are in other places in the country and across the world. According to our research, that discovery in Wyoming made us the most prosperous nation in the world as it relates to rare earth minerals. So countries' currencies will be backed by all these resources, family. Wells Fargo, somebody says Wells Fargo said USA isn't exchanging the IQD because of sanctions. Wells Fargo, if they did say that, I need to see the article because that is not true. I'm not saying you're not true. I'm saying that is not true. There's no sound on X. What in the world? I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. I hope you all can hear me. I'm at 100. My volume is at 100 here. I am often, as many of you are, censored on social media. But I don't know what I can do about that. I'll see if I can rectify that when I finish this podcast. Sister Sarah says, so sweet. Imagine everyone as sweet as Dr. Kia Pruitt. Thank you so much. You're so kind. God bless you. So this new system is doing right now what we call a crack up boom. That is what every country does at the end of every empire. Not every country, but at the end of every empire, this is what nations globally do. They print out as much money as they can. They rack up the debt. They buy themselves, the countries and governments buy themselves assets like gold. Okay. And then they decimate that financial system and then go to a gold-backed system. It's called the crack up boom. Print up as much money as you can, rack up the debt, buy yourself assets, and then destroy that fiat-based system and go to a sound monetary system. That's what we see happening. At the end of every empire, another thing that happens when you move to the gold standard is that typically gold and silver move from a high gold to silver ratio. Like right now, the gold to silver ratio might be 87-1, meaning it takes 87 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. And that will shrink to 30-1, and in biblical times 3-1. And if you follow Bix Weir on the road to Ruta.com or on his YouTube channel, Road to Ruta, he says the proper gold to silver ratio is 1-1. So right now, the gold to silver ratio is 87-1, something like that. It takes 87 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. Having said that, a lot of economists or people in the gold and silver space say it would be a good idea to invest in silver if you can't decide between silver and gold, because while that gold to silver ratio is so big, you can go ahead and get silver. It's cheaper. It's like 30 something dollars per ounce. Gold is, 2,600 per ounce. So I'm saying now, if you have a lot of money, large saving, you can roll it over into gold. But I'm saying if you can't make a decision, you can go ahead and get silver. It's cheaper. It will outperform gold. Is used for more things than money and jewelry, which gold is used for typically and historically. Silver is used for electric cars. It's used in your catalytic converter. It's used in your computer, your cell phone, your appliances, your microwave oven, your stove, your refrigerator, washer, your dryer. Silver has so many purposes, as well as jewelry and money. You even have sterling silver used in pots and pans and silverware, utensils to eat with. So silver has a lot of purposes. And remember, silver is a byproduct of gold and some other precious metals, but you do have a lot of silver mines in Mexico. By the way, Mexico, you're about to be very wealthy as we move towards the gold and silver standard. Okay, so keep that in mind and know that your country is going to do okay. So silver will outperform gold. You can always buy silver while it's inexpensive or relatively inexpensive, and then wait till the gold to silver ratio decreases or that margin narrows. And then when the gold to silver ratio goes from 87 to 1 to 30 to 1, meaning now it takes 30 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold, you can take some of that silver and go buy gold. Or you can even wait further till it shrinks even more to 3 to 1. Where it would take 3 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold, and then you can go buy some gold. So I say, if you don't know what to do and you can't make a decision, just know silver has a lot of purposes and it doesn't cost a lot of money. It doesn't cost as much as gold. So if you want to stay abreast of the gold prices and the gold to silver prices, you can go to goldprice.org. You can even go to silverprice.org. And here, let me bring this up. Thank you so much for the Cash App Blessing family. Thank you. I appreciate you. Goldprice.org. Here is the chart. Gold is right now $2,336 per ounce and 46 cents. Silver is $30 per ounce. And we know that it's going to go up higher. As a matter of fact, gold had reached a new all-time high just a few months ago. It went beyond $2,700 per ounce. Silver will go up. I think one of the highest prices I've seen may have been $35 or $36 per ounce, but it's going down right now because of many factors. Gold and silver prices are influenced by a lot of things, just like we talk about in other investments, influenced by geopolitical news, presidential elections, what's going on in the markets, other markets, etc. And we know that there were people in place that were suppressing the gold and silver price because they don't want you to understand or overstand that silver and gold are money. But remember, I showed you the King's World article. Remember the King's World article? It said the world is hurtling back to using gold and silver as money. So as people awaken, family, they will start to get into the gold and silver market. Here's that article here. You already know about BRICS, the Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa coalition, how they're coalescing against the West and dropping the dollar and using gold and silver in their own currencies to trade. They're no longer using the dollar. You have the Shanghai Corporation, the Asian conglomerate of nations that's doing the same thing. You have the African nations that are doing the same thing. They stopped trading with the dollar. And they can do that because Russia said, don't worry about the United States. Kick out those colonists in your nation. We will give you grains. We will back you up financially and we will support you, Russia said. So African nations are now joining this rush to using gold as money. So the world is hurling back toward gold as money. You've seen that article. I'll leave it in the description section for you. And you also know I've shown you the article published by the Sound Money Defense League that says 45 states in America have repealed or removed the state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals. That means that 45 states have reclaimed silver and gold as money. We're there, family. And then the article goes on to suggest that the last 5 remaining states that haven't reclaimed silver and gold as money will do so in the year of 2025. And here we are. Here we are. So wonderful things are happening, family. Stay encouraged. Know that things are working in our favor. Thank you so much. MM says, I love when you surprise us with one more live for the day. You're welcome. So the Bolivar, the Venezuelan Bolivar, JC asked about that, and the Sobrano, the Vietnamese dong, all those countries' currencies will be 1-to-1 with all currencies all over the world. I've done many podcasts on those countries' currencies. I even did a podcast called "Don't Sleep on Vietnam." Actually, the name of that podcast is "How to Become a Billionaire." You can find that one on Rumble. They scrubbed it from my YouTube channel. I've had many channels that they've taken away, but don't sleep on Vietnamese dong, because Vietnam during the global shutdown was thriving. A lot of those companies that were stationed in China that had left America and had gone to China left China when Trump was in his first administration during the China-America trade wars, and Trump was talking about China, said, we're going to put tariffs on you. A lot of those countries got scared. The ones that had left America and had gone to China years before now left China and went to Vietnam, because they can still exploit the resources there. They could get cheap labor. They knew that Vietnam had trade agreements with other Asian nations, specifically Central Asian nations. And so those countries were like, we can make good and be okay in Vietnam and stay out of Trump's way, because right now he's focusing on China. So during the global shutdown, the gross domestic product, the GDP in Vietnam went up, and they were their economy was thriving. Their ports were open. They were doing business and trade agreements with other nations, particularly with other Asian nations. They were doing okay. So don't sleep on Vietnam. The dong will be okay. And right now you can buy 1 million Vietnamese dong for about $75. So even if that's too much, get $100,000 note. That would just be maybe like $30. If that's too much money, look at the Indonesian rupiah or the Indonesian rupee, or get a lower denomination of the Vietnamese bond. The Zimbabwean bond, Zim note. And you know that Zimbabwe is going to make good on their currency. They're already gold back. They've already introduced their ZIG, their Zim gold, and they've been talking about contracts with China since 2018, contracts with China to help them mine their gold. So Zimbabwe, at their bond, the top left-hand corner says, this is a promise to pay the bearer upon demand. So when the world has a global currency reset and they reset the entire system and go to a global system, and you saw the King's World article says the whole world are rushing back to gold. You know that 45 states in America have reclaimed silver and gold as money. When that happens, family, each country's currencies will be 1-to-1, and all the country's currencies will be reinstated back to their lawful or normal value. And that, my darlings, is what a global currency reset is, or a GCR. The reinstatement of those countries' currencies, or the RI, is the currency being put back to the value that it was, and trade at the rate that it was before sanctions, before war, before the United States Incorporated got involved in their business. Let's see. Keep on keeping on, Queen. Respects from the Dutchess County, upstate New York. Thank you, Jerry. God bless you. Is California gold back? I would encourage you to look at the article. Let me get this article for you. I've been reporting on this for some time, but I'm glad that the Sound Monetary Defense League published an article. 45 states reclaim silver and gold as money. You'll have to look at the article to determine whether or not your state is one of the states that have reclaimed gold or silver as money. I'll put this in the chat for you here. How do you stay positive? I'm starting to crack working 2 jobs. I'm so tired. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. How do you stay positive? I would say focus as much as you can on good news, knowing that it will happen, and staying involved in things that make you happy, and do it as often as possible. And family, give some encouragement to our family member who's saying, I'm tired, I'm working 2 jobs. How do I stay positive? This is a time when we can support and encourage each other. Good question. And while we're coming up with ways that we can keep you inspired and encouraged, let me show you this article. For my Instagram family, you have to go to my YouTube channel or my Rumble channel, Dr. Kia Pruitt, or Dr. Kia Pruitt Official. That's not the right one. Let me stop sharing that. That was my Gmail, where the article is in my Gmail. Let me see. Here are the 45 states restoring gold and silver as money in America. Here, right here, family. State laws can help restore gold and silver as money, published by the Sound Money Defense League at soundmoneydefenseleague.org. Let's see, from Alabama to Wyoming, states across the United States continue to pass legislation to eliminate taxes on gold and silver, establish in-state depositories, protect state taxpayer funds with sound money, and more. And the article goes on to say that states continue removing sales taxes on gold and silver, and that more states want to end it. So we already have 45 states that are ending state sales tax. 5 states will join it, and then we'll all be on the gold standard here in America. Here is the article here. Let's see, they do mention California right here. California gold and silver laws. For the person that asked about California, you would click on that link. And it will say, according to Article 7, Regulation 1599, California enacted a sales tax exemption in 2023 for purchases of $2,000 or more in precious metals. So that's good news. I hope you enjoyed that article, and I'll put it in the description section for you too. Somebody says we got to have faith and hope. Thank you, Andy Weston says, you are a smart lady. I love your info. Thank you, Andy Weston. Who else? Margaret says, I love you so much for all the positive energy. You're welcome. Super smart lady. I love your info. Thank you, Andy. So I think that's it, family. Your descriptions are not showing up. Which descriptions, Inez? For what exactly? Can you let us know right quick? So family, I hope I said something that will encourage you. I tried my best to encourage you, as I often do, because we're close. We're there. Iraq is ready. If no other country is ready, which they all are, Iraq is ready for this new rate to be assessed and determined and to go to trade on the Forex. We've seen articles that say that Iraq is now ready to pay their people, and they'll likely pay in their, a new currency. So let's see what happens on tomorrow and the rest of this week, family. We do know that Iraq has been celebrating in country since December the 11th, when they were commemorating the end of ISIL being exited or kicked out of their country. But some people assert that they may be also celebrating a new exchange rate in country. So I don't live there. I'm not sure, but I can tell you that they have been celebrating. I know that by following people on Twitter who are from Iraq and by keeping up with the Iraqi newsletters. John 2:19 says, I called Chase Wealth Management today in Chicago, and they are not accepting Iraqi dinar yet. Thank you. Yes, it has to trade on the Forex first. I think that's it, family. I appreciate you for joining me here. Somebody says there's a Lego factory in Vietnam, and it's huge. I didn't know that, Ian Bell. A Lego factory in Vietnam. Don't sleep on Vietnam. That country was thriving during the global shutdown. So that's saying a lot right there. Oh, a lot of my descriptions aren't showing up from my earlier video. Okay, so I will check that. The earlier video that I did today, Sister Inez. Let's see, what was that? That was about countries becoming sovereign. And by the way, that's in alignment with Jasara and Nasara. That's how you know that Jasara is here. So let's look at that. Whoa, 4,500 people on YouTube saw that one so far. So let me look at the earlier live, sister. I'll bring it up right here. It's also on Rumble, sister. So if you don't see descriptions showing up on my YouTube channel, then it is on my Rumble channel. Here, this is what we're talking right here, Iraqi news update. We have 464 people watching from YouTube, but in the chat, we have 1,145 because I have many of my social media platforms connected to my StreamYard, my streaming platform. So let's see what I did. This is my video right here from earlier. It's called Geopolitical Update, Nations Become Sovereign. And so this is what I'm going to do right here. Let me look at the description section. Here it is. It's here, sis. The description section is here. I see these are all of the articles and or videos that I cited, the sources that I used in that video or that podcast. So that's that. Let me see. You can go to this particular video. This is the one here. And what else do you need to do? At the bottom of this video, you see the topic, geopolitical update, nations become sovereign, Trudeau resigns, Africa rises, Indonesia joins BRICS. Then you go here, you see my name, and here's the description section right here. We have 4,571 people that saw it. It streamed 6 hours ago. See right here, I've got my Cash App, and then nations have reclaimed their sovereignty is the beginning of the description section. Here it is, sis. It's right here. So it is in the YouTube description and it's on the Rumble channel. Let me just make sure it's on the Rumble channel. Let me know if you have any more questions, family, before we head out of here. We've been over an hour on this channel, on this particular podcast. And it's my desire not to keep you too much longer. The Iraqi news. Oh, no, not that one. Not the Iraqi news update. Nations become sovereign. That podcast. Let's bring that one up. I'm just checking to see if my description section is working because Sister Inez didn't see it. So we showed you that on YouTube. Now look at Rumble. My Rumble channel is Dr. Kia Pruitt. You can go to rumble.com and in the search engine somewhere type in DR period space KIA space PRUITT. Dr. Kia Pruitt. And you will see this list of here all my channels. I mean, I only have one channel, but all of my videos. The one I did earlier, Nations Become Sovereign. I'm going to click on that. And let's see if so the description section is showing here too, sister. So sometimes it take a little long for the descriptions to show up. Sometimes it take me long to upload them, and then sometimes it takes a while to show up. So here's the description section underneath the video. Here's my name, my Cash App, and all of the sources that I use, all the articles that I use to support my claims in the videos. And I do that for almost all of my videos. And if I don't do it, it means that I forgot. But mostly, almost all of my videos, I dare to say all of them, I'll provide resources, articles, videos, etc., to support my claims so that you can go by and fact check me. So please take advantage of that information because I research for hours and then I take the time to put it in the description section so that you can know some of this for yourself. Jan says, Joe Kent says, thank you so much. You're welcome. Hey, Anthony Hood says, hello. Hey, my sister. Great build, Coach Jay says. Thank you, Coach Jay, also known as Atanya or Atanya. Thank you. Okay, Sister Inez, you'll look again. It's there now, sis. How does the IRS fit into this? The IRS will be done away with, according to Nassar and Jassara. The IRS will be done away with, and we know that for certain. Also, because the Supreme Court of the United States overturned the Chevron doctrine. The Supreme Court of the United States said that many government agencies, such as the IRS, the CPS, FBI, CIA, Homeowners Association, DMV, all of them were operating treasonously and unconstitutionally, and they have to be dismantled. So the IRS is one of those 441 government agencies. They will be dismantled. This was decided this summer that these governmental agencies were operating fraudulently. So basically, the Chevron doctrine enabled these government agencies and the courts to expand their ability to govern and rule us. So government agencies were able to create any type of so-called laws, which really they're statute codes, policies, and legalities that they wanted to, and force us to comply with them. And if we didn't, they would put fines and penalties upon us. And if we found our way in court because we were appealing or going against those those rules or those statutes and codes that they put on us, or we were in court to pay a fine, the judge would defer back to those agencies and say, you have to comply with them and you have to pay a bill because they're the experts, is what these judges said. So the Chevron doctrine, again, deferred to these agencies and allow these agencies to create any rules that they wanted to force us to do whatever they want us to do. For example, you had to have a driver's license. Why do you have to have a driver's license when most of us weren't operating in commerce? We were travelers or traveling, traversing from one place to another, not operating in commerce or commercial trade. So we shouldn't have had to have a license. And then they went further and said you have to have car insurance. And if you don't have a license and car insurance, or keep up your registration and your tag, then they would take away all of your driving privileges. And they could put a fine and penalty on you. They can also repossess your car or take it away, impound it, and they could even lock you up if they wanted to. That's happened to people I know. So the Supreme Court of the United States overturned the Chevron doctrine, saying that they can no longer do this. The IRS is one of those so-called government agencies, but those are not government agencies. They're not part of our republic. They're not part of our government. They are fake, faux, corporate, dead entities with their own registration, their own DUNS and a DNB number. And their CEOs were operating fraudulently. So now that the Supreme Court overturned that, they can no longer exist. That includes the IRS. That's why Trump said he wants to remove income taxes. He wants to downsize government and minimize government. He's saying this because the Earth Alliance dictated that it has to happen. The military dictated that it has to happen. Again, before we even had the IRS, I keep doing this, we had tariffs on countries in order for the government to make money. So now Trump will follow what the Earth Alliance has said and remove the IRS. And this again is part of Nisara Jasara. Let me see if I can come up with, I'll show you those 441 government agencies. That has to be removed. Here it is, 441 Federal Register, on the Federal Register, the Daily Journal of the United States Government. This is federalregister.gov/agencies. Here are the 441 agencies that now have to be removed. And if any of them stand because they maybe provide some type of benefit, or we can find some saving grace and make sure they are in compliance with the Republic, they will be modified so that they cannot put these unfair, unjust rules on us and or assess a penalty for that if we don't comply. So here you go. It's categorized in alphabetical order, family. You see the Defense Nuclear League, you see Environmental Protection Agency, the Federal Labor Relations. It just goes all the way down to Housing Authority, all the way down to the Treasury Department, United States Trade Deficit Review Commission, United States China Economic Security Review, Unified Carrier Registration Plan, United States African Development Foundation, and what else goes all the way down to Velez Caldera Trust, Veterans Affairs Department. That will change, be modified, or decimated because, again, the way these agencies were set up were against us and they were treasonous and unconstitutional. So that's about it, family. I hope this has been helpful. I hope so. Sister Inez says, thank you. I appreciate you so much. It's my pleasure. When will they be disbanded? I can't give you a date, but I do know there have been some articles published now talking about doing away with the FBI and the CIA. And Trump has said the same thing. Snooki Bay, an avid supporter of the Dr. Kia Pruitt show, says, I've been to jail over driving without a license before, so I'm glad to hear this news. I really apologize that happened to you, Snooki. These people are treasonous. Yes, and I'm glad that this news is coming out too. Thank you for the confirmation so that, people can know that these rules were against us, making us go to jail for not having a driver's license when that's constitutional to make us do that is wrong. And as Patrick said, when you think about the IRS, they ruin many people's lives and businesses, making you pay tens of thousands of dollars saying you owe them, knowing good and well they weren't using it for any benevolent purpose. Who is this checking in from Charlotte, North Carolina? Hi, Shada J. Good to see you on Instagram. Hello to all my Instagram family. It's so good to see you. They've already been started doing away with these agencies. Thank you, Jim. We're behind on mortgage payments and the bank is not allowing us to make payments online, Irma's favorite said. Wow, thank you for letting us know. Wow, 100%. Thank you, Andy says. No taxes, no IRS, no filing again. Right, no capital gains tax either on the sales of precious metals or currency. So the currency revaluation, currency exchange, will be a non-taxable event. So that's about it, family. I am so appreciative that all of you spent your Monday evening here with me this evening, Monday, January the 6th, 2025. I appreciate you so much. You are amazing. Oh my gosh, Gary, thank you so much for sending me $50 here on the sticker. I think this is called a YouTube sticker or YouTube funding, a YouTube app or something, but I'm so grateful for the blessing of $50. Gary says, much love. See with your own two eyes and listen with your own two ears. Let's go. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate you so much. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. I'm also grateful for Glenn Snell, Theo Wofford, Sister Tawana, Sister Deborah. I will maintain, and many of you that sent a Cash App blessing while we were doing the show and earlier today. For those of you who have asked, my Cash App is $ Mama Kia 13. That's $ MAMAKIA 13 $ Mama Kia 13. And the reason why I say that is because some of you want to support my work, and I am very grateful. But even if you don't have money to support my work, you are supporting me by being right here with me. As I've said many times before, you validate me. You validate my charge. You validate my mission and my purpose. Without you, I wouldn't have relevance because I'd just be keeping this information to myself. But now that I have the Soul family here, I can share the information. You share your love and your energy and support and encouragement, and we thereby synergize and help each other and raise the vibrations of the planet. Oh, it's called a super chat. Thank you. Thank you, Roderick. Roderick said that the money that Gary gave me is called a super chat. I appreciate you so much. What else? Jackie says, and you with us. I now have more understanding. Thank you, Sister Kia Pruitt. You're welcome. Shannon says they must be getting ready to zero our debt soon. Yes, yes. Did you see that Zero Hedge article that I showed you all earlier? Zero Hedge talked about a debt jubilee. Before that happened, you saw the Pope announce that he would open 5 Jubilee portals. The first one on December 24th during New Year's Eve. The next one on December 26th, the day after Christmas. The next one, I think on the 27th, the next one on January the 1st, and the final and 5th portal that he was to open called the Jubilee portal, as well as the other 4. He opened yesterday, Sunday, January the 5th. He called those portals the Jubilee portal. This is a ritual, family, letting us know that this is time for the Jubilee. At the same time, we saw an article published by Zero Hedge. So this is making its circulation in its way around mainstream media. This article by Zero Hedge was very encouraging. It is entitled, or the title is, A Debt Jubilee of Biblical Proportions is Coming. Are you ready? You see that? They ask, are you ready? And tell you that it's coming. A debt jubilee in biblical proportions. So yes, this is becoming well known now. Tyler Durden is the author. He says, for thousands of years, the rulers of ancient Babylon discovered a technique to stave off violent revolts. He says, in ancient times, people often became hopelessly indebted to their creditors. As debts mounted, social unrest would boil over, threatening the stability of the country and the entire ruling system. So the rulers got together and decided in the ancient world that they must do something. They understood this dangerous dynamic of revolts that will occur if people have unrest and are stressed out, like one of our sisters said, because they have to work so many jobs due to having to pay so much debt off. Their solution was radical yet effective, the article states. And what they decided was to enact a widespread debt cancellation called a debt jubilee. This is exciting. So a debt jubilee acted as societal pressures released valves when no other options remained. The practice spread throughout the ancient world and became codified in various civilizations. I told you earlier, being a woman of Hebraic bloodline, Hebraic faith, we learned about debt jubilee. It had to be, we practice it every 7 years. You're supposed to let go of those who owe you debt. You're supposed to forgive the debt every 7 years, and then you do 7 times 7 and have a debt jubilee or a platinum jubilee. 7 times 7 is 49, but you have a celebration on the 50th year. Now, we are in that platinum 50th year debt jubilee, and this is why you saw Zero Head talk about this the other day, no, or I want to say a week or two ago on December 24th, 2024. Oh, that was the same day that the Pope opened the first Jubilee door, the day before Christmas. So this is exciting, family. The article says, for instance, the book of Leviticus formalized debt jubilees as the conclusion of a 49 biblical cycle, which was 7 cycles of 7 years. The author, again, Tyler Durden, says, I believe this ancient practice is poised for a major comeback as government, corporate, and personal debt levels today have reached unsustainable heights. You talk about Jasara and Nasara being real, us having a debt jubilee, us eliminating income taxes and moving towards the gold standard and the silver standard. Family, this is happening as we speak. So that's it, family. I hope I've said something that was encouraging. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I hope I said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. Go and have a good night, family. Sleep well. I see 1,186 people in the chat. Like the video, subscribe to the channel on YouTube or Rumble. Share the video with your family members and know that we are in a good place in history. We have decided to come back during this time to help liberate humanity and to create humanitarian projects to help our soul family. That's it for now, family. I will see you soon. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have good news about the Iraqi dinar. I love you. Take care. Bye-bye.